I have really enjoyed sharing about the hearts. I've gotten to talk to a couple groups, and I think it's really important you know why. Why the hearts? Why are they here? Aside from people like Sophia are going to go see all of them, and it's really fun to do that. I'm just going to start with the why. During COVID, a lot of businesses really were hurt, especially the hospitality industry. And so this particular public art initiative is to help gather both money that's being built in from the people who pay to get the hearts where they are, and they will have an auction at the end for the people to buy them if they want to keep them where they are, or buy one. You know, who knows, this person might buy it off of the other person. So that's one way of making money. But I just want to tell you, I hadn't really been in Kearney before. So I've driven through. My kids lived in Iowa and stuff, but I got a chance to see what this little town is like. You know, we went into the shops, we walked around, and that's one of the main things is it's not just having the hearts so people can see it. It's having the hearts to bring people together, to get them to travel. Someone said it's like a staycation. You're really getting to be out. And I'm going to bring two groups here. One is my women's study group from church, and we got rained out yesterday, but we're going to do it tomorrow, next week. But when we come up here, we're going to go to the Jesse James Farm, and then we're going to have lunch here in Kearney. So that brings, you know, some money into the area. Then I'm bringing a whole nother group, and we're doing a Brew Hearts tour. That'll be fun, won't it, Harry? And we have figured out a path, so we'll see 9 hearts in one day and 3 breweries. So one being right here in Kearney. So I think it's important for you to know that's why they gave the artists a chance to do this. So where's the money going? Partly to the artists. They thought that would be helpful to our community, and so did the artists. This is the most I ever got paid for anything. Although if you did by hours, I probably made maybe 10. But these are the different places that it goes to. One place is KU Med Cardiovascular. They wanted to buy equipment that's very expensive, and so that's part of where this is going. And you know, during COVID, a lot of people, hearts were affected. So that's one of the places. Also, there's Visit KC Hospitality, and that works with the hospitality industry. That's been going on, but they're going to funnel money back into those businesses, small businesses. Mark is a group that works with nonprofit childhood education, and they're going to give out grants from what they get for it. Also, grants will go from AltCap, which works with small minority or women owned businesses. So again, we're trying to build that small business. And in Kansas City, actually, there are more people that work in small businesses than work in large businesses. You would not know that. So what we did is they put out an art call for artists, and everybody had to send in not just a sketch of what they wanted the heart to look like, but it's also explaining why our heart is important to Kansas City and why is it important in the evolution coming out of COVID and coming back into community. So we filled those out, we sent them in. There were 700 applications, and there were 152 that were chosen. I do have a friend that has 2 hearts, but most people just had 1. And so I was very, very happy to be able to be one of those artists. And this is my first large public art piece. So, and then what I did was I took my photography. Those photographs are from 4 years of taking photographs in Kansas City. Although I must say that right at the end, I went out and got pictures from areas that I hadn't gotten pictures because I really wanted that to represent all of the city. Now I know I should have added Kearney in it. Yeah, but I didn't know they were going to stretch out into large, and there are some in Lee Summit. They really did a nice job of canvassing the whole larger Kansas City area. But my heart itself, I just wanted to show some of the iconic places in Kansas City. Is there anyone in here who has not been to at least one of those places that's on that heart, if not many? Okay, my challenge to everyone that I talk to about the heart is I want you to go to someone you've gone with to that place or seen that sculpture or been in that museum that you see on the heart, and talk to them about that time that you had with them. That's the thing. It's all about community. It's all about where you've been with people in Kansas City. And that one happens to be about, some of the, like I said, some of the environment, the built environment, the sculptures and the museums, and 18th and Vine, we have part of that. Some of them have some beautiful landscapes, bridges, so it's not all city stuff. And then there are a few that I'm not sure how they relate to the city, but they're awfully fun. So somebody was asking, so how are they chosen and where they go? And I would like to tell you, somebody in your community was an anonymous donor. And they paid enough money that they were higher up to choose the hearts. So of course, J.D. Dunn gave the most money, so they got to choose first. And then it went by that. So that's why somebody was asking me too, like, how did they decide where they go? Does the heart go by the cardiovascular? It goes by whoever wanted to choose those hearts and display them where they wanted to. So, so that was interesting. So when we found out, how we found out where our heart was going to be, we went to a grand reveal at the Royals Arena. And that was the first time I met Jerry. And that was the first time I knew it was going to be in Kearney. And so it was so exciting. We got to see all the hearts, didn't we? And so it was nice. We got to see the different hearts. We found out who was going to have them. And I was so excited because the people from Kearney were so excited. And I'm like, well, this is wonderful. We're really spreading out. We're talking about it. And I think that it's great because I also think, this is another little secret, Kearney, I think you guys are the next town to be used from people who work in the city but want to get out. Now that people can work from home, I think there'll be more people that want to move where they're a little out of the city, but have that ability to get into the city very easily. I mean, you're like 15 minutes out here. I happen to be half hour on the other side, so we're far away, but it's really, a nice area up here. And that's the other point, is getting people out to different areas. I had not been out here. If I had, it'd been probably 30 years ago, but yeah. So with my groups that I'm bringing out, we're all, guess what? We're eating lunch. So we're going to a museum. We're doing that. So it really is helping the community. Trying to think what some of the, and the question of how did I do that? Sophia is a photographer also, and I wanted to do photography, and I'm like, okay, I want to do it. I need to figure out a way to do it, and I want it to be something I could apply in the proposal. So I have a friend that's done the art down on the trolleys, and she had used the wrap. So I went to her and I found out how to do it. Unfortunately, that took a good bit of the grant out of what I got, but I thought it was really worth it, and I've been very happy with it. As any artist, you freak out thinking, well, what's going to happen? I thought, well, this one's going to be very good, focus, and this one's, now the Nelson's going to look like a blob. But I was able to get it all together. How I did it was I did it in Photoshop, and if you remember, like Snow White and the different cells that they would put on, so they had background, then they had maybe the birds, then they had Snow White. So that's how Photoshop works. Well, at one point I counted 90 different layers. So each layer, the top layer would be the strips. And I wanted it to look, I hope that everybody here may remember when you took film, you took pictures that it was on a strip, the negatives were on a strip. So that's where I got my idea. to fit the pictures into that strip, so the strip is the top layer, I had to put a layer underneath of, for instance, the Kemper Museum. Well, you can't just put a square thing under there. So then I had to learn how to warp it. And so I got those in. So it was a really great learning experience for me. I hope it's a great experience, especially for kids, to get out there and people who just don't go to a museum rarely. Some people are intimidated by that. So it's a chance, public art is really important. It's a chance for everybody to get involved and see it and enjoy it and beautify your city. I think it looks really great where it is. It's a really nice place to, you get right downtown here in Kearney and it's like, wow, So I think it's been very successful with what they wanted the Heart Parade to do. And I'm hoping that, and the other thing is they wanted to make $3 million. They made $1.8 million just on the people who paid to have the hearts where they have them. So then they take them at the end and they auction them off, and I predict they'll get more than $3 million. So you can imagine that's really important to those organizations that I talked about there. So it's like a triple whammy. You get people out into the community working on the hospitality industry. You've got the people who rented, you've got the people who buy. So I think it's a very good, method of gathering funds for things. And I must say, I don't know if any of you are in Rotary, but our Rotary Club had a peace pole competition, and they had the peace poles up. And again, it was public art. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many people came to see them. So I think it's important for people to know this is a great thing all the way around. You can enjoy it. You get people out to see it. You build community, and you're helping other places. So any of you who are in any organizations that do things to raise money and help others, you are doing a great thing. So. Oh, remember my challenge though. You need to go home and talk to one of your friends or your family that you were with them at one of these places and have those memories together. That's my challenge. You need to do that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.